Okay guys, today we've got a track comparison for the two main throwback tracks we got in MX vs. ATV Legends from MX vs. ATV Alive, plus the Easter egg of Piston Valley, because I thought it was really cool, and I wanted to take a look at, what changes were done and adjustments were made. So the way the video is going to be set up is we are going to take a kind of a hot lap, I guess. I know it's kind of slow, but a hot lap for me around the MX vs. ATV Alive version, and then we will switch over to the direct side-by-side comparison so you can see it. So, first up would be Grandview. Now, this track was done really, really well. When I first played the two tracks, mostly I'm going to refer to the two tracks because that's the way the track pack is being sold, without Piston Valley, even though we got it as a free ride Easter egg. But when I first played these tracks, I thought they did a really, 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 really good job. It kind of felt like a few things had been extended, but overall it stayed true and kept the original in mind the entire time they were doing it. So as far as a remake, it felt really good. After seeing the side-by-side and going back and refreshing myself with MX vs. ATV Alive, they actually did even better than I initially thought. So the biggest difference is probably just the dirt color. Now there is a few jumps. This big step-up table is a bit extended for MX vs. ATV Legends, and you will see a few instances excuse me, you will see a few instances where for MX vs. ATV Legends, the track was maybe a tiny bit extended or whatever, because MX vs. ATV Legends kind of plays fast, right? MX vs. ATV Legends in general probably just plays faster than MX vs. ATV Alive, and I'm not very good at MX vs. ATV Alive, okay? I know I'm not very good at the game, so we had that kind of working against myself, but also the other problem I kind of had, and you see it in the video, it was very difficult to time the two clips to where they were kind of side by side because of how much faster Legends plays versus MX vs. ATV Alive. So I kind of had to start Legends way behind, and then let it kind of try to catch up to MX vs. ATV Alive. And kind of no matter what I did, it ended up passing Alive, and it wasn't perfect, but I did the best I could. I hope you could kind of see the differences. Here we switch over to Catapult Canyon. Now, I did forget that this track is, when you race this track, it's during the morning. But lucky for us, we have time of day that we can select. So we do that with MX vs. ATV Legends, and they do a great job. Now, you will see it when we get to the track comparison, but the biggest differences, again, were probably the dirt color, and then the way the shadows are in MX vs. ATV Alive were more noticeable, and they kind of dragged on a bit farther. So the shadows were a bit more harsh in this game. They didn't look bad, but they were harsher in how they covered the track. So they covered more of the track, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And then a few of the jumps were extended a tiny bit, but overall, Catapult Canyon probably was the best done. All these tracks were done extremely well, but Catapult Canyon probably stays closest to the original over all the three tracks we got for MX vs. ATV Alive. Also, MX vs. ATV Supercross Encore. They are advertising these tracks from Encore as well, but they originated from MX vs. ATV Alive. All this stuff is pretty similar. You can kind of see, obviously, the dirt color is a bit different. The shadows are a little bit different, but it is so close. It is very, very close. Now, this section where we have the whoops kind of back to back, it was a bunch easier to double and then double again. Kind of this entire big hip. It's like one big hip with a bunch of hip doubles, kind of. So that, for me at least, because I feel like I'm a little bit better at Legends. I'm not saying I'm good, but I'm really bad at Alive. That entire section felt like it played out a little bit better in Legends because just the way it was fit to the game. Also, this rhythm section is much easier in Legends, I think. It's easier to get the quad and go for some of those big lines and whatnot. I'm not saying it's not possible. I know it is in Alive, but I'm not very good. I'm not very good, so for me at least, the Legends version almost played a little bit better than the Alive version, but this is the track I felt like they kept the closest to the original. And then here we switch over to Piston Valley. Now, this was a raceable track, obviously, in Legends and Supercross Encore, but in Alive and Supercross Encore, but in MX vs. ATV Legends, it is an Easter egg in the free ride. And they did a really good job. You'll see that when we switch over to it. And they also did a really good job. It never dawned on me. I guess I didn't pay any attention. I guess I don't pay attention to detail when it comes to MX vs. ATV Alive, but I never realized that all these tracks were connected, kind of, you know? They all use the same biome, and, I mean, literally there's that big jump from Grandview where you jump. It's kind of a table, but it crosses a different track. I think it's Catapult Canyon. And then the way we run on the backside of Grandview here. So this double is part of Grandview. And now we're going back down that first straight after the first turn, right? So this, it never really dawned on me that all three of these tracks were connected until I played Legends. And then it was like, wow, after all these years, now forgive me because I had this game, I borrowed it out to a friend, never got it back. I know, terrible friend, right? I never got it back. And then when I started doing YouTube, I bought a copy for the Xbox 360. I played it a bit, and then now I bought it on the Xbox One. So I have minimal experience with MX vs. ATV Alive, but it's just weird to me. It never dawned on me. So they did a great job replicating that. I know it was a really long story, but what I was trying to say is that they did a really good job replicating that in Legends. You know, there is only one free ride world, but it has all the tracks in it. And the fact that they gave us Piston Valley when I wasn't expecting that is super cool. So Piston Valley was done very, very well. The biggest difference, again, is probably the dirt color, and you know, it looks a little bit greener in some places. And then the big quad for me was really, really tough. I think I was maybe missing my preload, but I was really having a hard time trying to get that. In MX vs. ATV Legends, that's very, 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 very easy to get. That weird step up double that's a step down double for Grandview worked exactly the same. This is all the same. The biggest difference here before you hit this rhythm section is in MX vs. ATV Legends, it feels like that corner, going to that corner before you hit this section is a bit extended, right? But the rest of it is identical. I mean, freaking identical. It is so cool. So overall, if I had to give just these three tracks a rating out of 10, I would give them a 10. Maybe a 9 out of 10, but I would give them a 10 probably, because the small minor changes they did were for the better of MX vs. ATV Legends, right? It was for the better of the way MX vs. ATV Legends plays, and just to make it a bit more fun. But they stayed completely true to the track designs. They made all the tracks connect together. They gave us a free ride so we could not have to just do time attack or races. So really cool. And the Easter egg for Piston Valley is fantastic. And they put so much effort into it to make it work really, really well. I mean, it's just an extra thing that you get in this Throwback Track Pack DLC. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. How do you feel like they did if you made it to this part of the video? What would you give their rating out of 10 after seeing the tracks or playing the tracks for yourself? Just these three tracks, and which tracks are you most looking forward to? I'm really looking forward to Pine Top. I need Pine Top to be amazing because that was one of my favorite tracks of all time. We did a top 9 tracks, I believe, of all time, and Pine Top was like third or something. So it was like top 3. I need Pine Top to be good. I need Capital City to be good, and Sandwick. I really want Sandwick to be good too. I find it kind of weird Sugar Ridge is in there. That was never one of my favorite tracks, but maybe it was for you guys, and they asked the community. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think and which tracks you're looking forward to. And again, how would you rate these tracks? How do you feel like Rainbow Studios did with the the remakes here. So you guys and girls are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for the support on the channel lately. It really does mean a lot. And until the next video, take it easy.